Hey guys, Josh Luck with Luck Landscaping, and I am super excited. We are on our next project. We are literally breaking ground behind me now on what's going to be an incredible recreational swim pond. Not a pool, no chlorine, no chemicals. We're talking plants, rocks, water. We're talking natural filtration, beautiful waterfalls and rock work around the perimeter to create a natural, aesthetically appealing and functioning recreational swim pond. We are at the Trames property getting ready to create for them what is phase 2 of their property's project. Phase 1, an incredible stream across the entire front of the house with a bridge, handicap accessible, going over the stream. A new deck across the front of the house, really polishing up everything, creating this beautiful, amazing feature in the front yard. Now, the first step in this backyard is an incredible recreational swim pond. Then we're gonna be looking at the potential for a greenhouse aviary for the bird, a new paver patio, looking at a pergola, and then overlooking an incredible new recreational swim pond. Joseph is tearing out right now the old garden. Our customer loves nature, loves to garden, so he has literally created a nature paradise escape on his property. A park, if you will, built specifically for him and his wife, Kelly. John is an incredible individual, one of the hardest working guys that I know, and John absolutely loves to work his land and to create what nature would. Incredible water features, incredible pathways, and an incredible property. So Joseph is tearing out the old vegetable garden, and we're gonna be bringing that into the new vegetable garden area that we're gonna help John create a bit. John is into permaculture, so if you're into gardening and you've heard about permaculture, that's what all of these sticks are gonna be used for, and all of that good soil that we're pulling out of the garden area. It's gonna be reused over here as we create, John, some new raised garden beds with permaculture. John has an incredible property here. The home is absolutely beautiful as well. There's the window that John and Kelly are gonna be overlooking their incredible new project. The nice thing about a recreational swim pond, you get to enjoy it 365 days out of the year, not just 3-4 months out of the year like a swimming pool. The other benefit, no chemicals. We're talking all organic, natural treatments. We're talking how plants, rocks, and water work together to create a functioning, living, breathing ecosystem that works with nature, not against it, to create beautifully functioning, crystal clear water clarity and quality. So Joseph's gonna continue working on site prep here. We've got our stakes in the ground for what's going to be the future of a giant hole with a bunch of soil. Noah's stacking brick over here. We've got a lot of old clay brick that the customer was wanting to use as a pathway. So we're gonna scour through all of this material here, get it all palletized, throw away the junk, get it moved, get it cleaned up so the client can reuse it at a later time. This pond is going to be 4 feet deep, steps going in, intake bay, wetland filter. This project has it all when it comes to recreational swim pond. Stay tuned as we turn this behind me into an incredible project. Take a look at this. That is how you take a tree out of the ground and move it around. We're gonna continue progress here as we prep for this recreational swim pond. We've got piles of bricks being palletized. We've got junk bricks getting ready to be thrown in the dump truck. We've got trees being ripped out of the ground. We've got ground being moved so we can prep. We've staked out the rec pond and are super excited to continue progress. Stay tuned. We are back at the Trames for excavation of their beautiful new recreational swim pond. The guys have been working diligently to remove the existing landscape, transplant a few awesome specimen pieces, and really clear out the existing garden area. So what is behind me is basically the starting point of excavation. What we're gonna do now is stake out the pond one more time, spray everything out one more time, and we're gonna make sure that everything is exactly where it needs to be be before we start any deep excavation. Measure twice, cut once. In this case, measure 2 or 3 times and excavate 1 time. You don't want these measurements to be off. What we do is we'll measure off of the house to make sure that we're square from our first stakes, and we'll move everything accordingly off of those stakes to make sure that the overhead view is not on a 45 or some weird angle, but is actually square and plumb with the house. We think those little details make a big difference. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna make sure we're squaring ourselves off of the house for all of our stakes and our excavation. What we're gonna do, because the house changes here, we've measured the distance here from corner to corner, and we've come up with 124.5. So what we do then is when we take our mark from the house to our stake, and we wanna bring that same mark over here, we need to subtract 124.5 from whatever that measurement is. So we came up with 43 feet times 12 equals 561, and then we subtract 124.5 from that, 391.5. So our mark was 43 feet. 43 times 12 is 516. We have 124.5 inches. We need to subtract from 516 to make sure that the stake measurement off of this point of the house is the same as the stake measurement off of that point of the house. Simple. Okay, so here's the point now where we're going to get the laser level set up for excavation. When we're doing that, we get the laser set on our table, turn it on, self levels, and then it beams out this laser line across the entire job site. Here's what we do next, is we get our story pole set to the exact grade that we need for excavation. In this case, 4 feet is what we're excavating. But where do we take that 4-foot measurement from? We have to establish a 0. That 0 is grade. So what you need to do is you need to assess your project. You need to look around at the grade of the earth, and you need to determine where is the lowest point of grade around my project. If you take it from the highest point, you'll be in trouble down the road. You always want to take and shoot grade from the lowest relevant point. So that way you can establish a good depth from what the earth is. So we've established in this area, and here looks to be about the lowest point of grade. We're gonna set our 0 mark there. Once we have our 0, we're gonna measure up 4 feet. Why up, you say? Because when you're using a transit laser level, up is down and down is up. So we're gonna measure up 4 feet. That way, when we take that story pole and set it at the bottom of this pond at the 4-foot mark, and it beeps between our transit laser and the reader, that will be 4 foot of excavation from our lowest point there. So understanding grade, understanding how to use transit and laser levels are very, very important. So stay tuned as we continue to get this project marked out and dug out. Hey guys, exciting, exciting. The job is progressing. What does that mean? Well, that means we've got stone coming down the road, literally coming down the road, River Road, and now coming up the driveway road here. We've got some beautiful boulders here, and these boulders are going to be used for this incredible recreational swim pond. I'm going to flip the camera around, go touch base with Sandman Sales Yard here so we can make sure that these rocks are staged exactly where we'd like them. Some beautiful, beautiful rocks. We are excavating here for our recreational swim pond. Joseph is tearing out one last giant shrub. This tree's coming out as well. I don't know if you remember, this tree here actually used to be over here. What we wanted to do was try to salvage this beautiful specimen weeping pine, and what we did is create a beautiful canopy here for our clients to put a beautiful bench and sit underneath the canopy of those 2 specimen trees. We actually moved move the evergreen shrub as well to create a nice backdrop landscaped area around this beautiful recreational swim pond. We always want to work with nature, not against it. And when you're renovating large-scale landscaping projects and doing large-scale landscaping design and construction, you need to make sure that you're salvaging and saving your key specimens. Any maples, Japanese maples, weeping pines, fine evergreens that we can salvage that are mature and beautiful. We want to pop up, transplant, and move around the property. That way, we're always thinking end in mind, creating beautiful, appealing landscape around this beautiful recreation pond. Joe's doing some excavation. Noah is moving literally tons and tons of soil so we can create a berm around our wetland filter. Joe is actually inside the wetland filter right now. He's finishing some excavation. Noah is building a giant berm around the wetland filter. That's gonna create the elevation and the grade change that we need to raise our wetland filter up and create a nice, beautiful waterfall into this recreational koi pond. Now, we've got something super exciting. Talk to John, and he has decided to add a beautiful, well, I'm just gonna have to wait to see exactly what it is. But when I say it's going to be absolutely amazing, John has made a little improvement to this incredible project. That's the beautiful thing when you're designing and building custom landscape projects. Have fun with your clients. Be creative, dream, think outside the box, and always give the opportunity to enhance what your client is getting. That's our job. That's what we do as designers and consultants and really as creative artists out here in the landscaping world. So we've got more soil being moved. Joe's gonna get back in there for excavation. You can see we've got a layout here for our wetland filter. We're going to continue excavation on this hole. We're about 30 inches right now. We want to get to about 54. That'll give us our 4 feet of water level with enough edging on top of water level to make sure that we're not losing any of our water depth as we have our edge work around the perimeter. So we're going to continue excavation. Josh is grabbing a wheelbarrow right now to move some stones around, and Joe's going to get in there and continue excavation. So stay tuned.